Hello, today's assembly is about Holocaust Memorial Day. Every year, on the 27th of January, people across the UK mark Holocaust Memorial Day by putting on events, assemblies, candle lightings, performances and many other activities. We do this to remember some events in the past when people were treated badly and some were even killed because of their religion or the colour of their skin. The Holocaust is a word for when Jewish people in Europe were treated badly and killed. Around the time of World War II, Jewish people follow a religion called Judaism. They worship in buildings called synagogues, their leaders are called rabbis, and their holy book is called the Torah. Jewish people lived all across Europe before the Holocaust. In the 1930s, a man called Adolf Hitler was the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany. The Nazis believed that Jewish people weren't as good as German people. They made laws so that Jewish people couldn't go to school and could only do a few jobs. For example, Otto Deutsch was no longer allowed to play football in the park because he was a Jew. The Nazis started planning ways in which to make it difficult for Jews to live in Europe. Can you imagine living in those times when you weren't allowed to play football in the park, maybe because you were too tall, maybe because you were too small, maybe because your skin colour was wrong, maybe because you had red hair or brown hair or blonde hair? This is what we call discrimination. When you treat people badly because of who they are, their race or religion, or because they are different from you, this is called discrimination. The Nazis discriminated against the Jews because they were different from them. Discrimination, unfortunately, still exists in our society today. The Nazis tried to kill Jewish people in Europe. They forced them to leave their homes and live in horrible places called ghettos and concentration camps. They worked them very hard and they didn't give them enough food. And they murdered lots and lots of people. Some people, like Anne Frank, which I know some of our Year Sixers will know about, went into hiding. Some people, like Bernd Koshland, managed to escape to another country. And some people, like Susan Pollock, were taken by the Nazis, but they survived. They had to be very tough and very robust in order to survive, and they worked together as a team if they were taken to one of their prison camps. After the Holocaust, the world said this must never happen again. But sadly, similar crimes have happened in many countries around the world and still happen today. And even in our school, we have some refugee families who've escaped countries where they're being treated really badly. This is why it's important that we have to learn about what happened and to remember it on Holocaust Memorial Day and to think about how we can make a world where people aren't discriminated against. We really believe that in our school and in our world that we should all be treated fairly and equally, and we all have equal rights. I'd like to read you a poem now, and it's called Racism by Rose Young. She wrote this when she was 8 years old, and she sent it to the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust for a poetry competition and was one of the winners. It's a wonderful poem. See if you like it. If hate was an animal, it would be a green-eyed python. If hate was a place, it would be the bottom of the ocean. If hate was an illness, it would be the Black Plague. If love was a season, it would be a warm summer. If love was a food, it would be a birthday cake with 6 candles. Love is like a big fat juicy yellow mango. I'd like you to think about what love means to you, and I'd like you to think about what you can do to represent Holocaust Memorial Day. Every year and on Thursday this week, the 27th of January, people were lighting candles, they were recognising it, they were collecting together, there were art projects, there were readings, talks and much more taking place. So whilst you're at home, why not have a think about what you could do to recognise Holocaust Memorial Day, and let's think about how we don't want to discriminate against each other, how we don't want to hurt one another, because in our world we are all equal. So what can we do to end discrimination? First of all, we can use our voice and we can speak out about discrimination and say that we don't agree with it. There are other things that you can do. Why not learn about somebody's story who survived the Holocaust, or the story who survived any terrible treatment from another person who has discriminated from them? Let's learn from that. Why not do some artwork to look at how we can promote the end to discrimination from each other? Hold a minute's silence to remember all of those poor people who died at the hands of the Nazis, or other people who've tried to discriminate against them and hold them back. Why not do a little film for me? Post that up onto Dojos. Say what you think about discrimination. That would be wonderful. Let me hear your voice. Why not make a poster to show around our school, in your windows, to say what it means for you to stop discrimination? Read a poem. Why not write a poem? Poem would be lovely. I lit a candle on the 27th of January to remember all those people who have died in the Holocaust, because I know we never want that to happen again. And here's just a little short film for you to look at to make you think about how you can use your voice. I'd like to hear that.
My voice can.
My
voice can.
My voice can.
My voice can transform.
Transform?
Transform like before your very ears.
My voice is as big as my imagination.
Our voice has traveled through generations.
My voice can make you feel
My voice demands to be heard.
My voice comes to you through poetry, orality, passionately, because words are free.
My voice speaks for my family whose voices were silenced.
It's not always easy, but I try to use my voice to speak out against hatred.
Use your voice.
Your voice. Your voice.
To speak out
against injustice,
humiliation, and hatred.
I'd like to hear you use your voice. Let's shout loud and end discrimination. Thank you.